We do have a member of the team staff that will be monitoring the chat from the Zoom today. So if you have a question, a comment, something that you want to share, you may use the chat feature. As speakers, both myself and Misty will not have immediate access to it, but we will do our best to monitor it and get you the information. We are recording this, and so know that it will be available. If you stay till the end, we'll talk to you about how to do that. So with no further ado, let me go ahead and do our introduction of our special guest speaker. Oh, and I want to mention to you today that this is kind of a sneak peek of what Team Referral Network will have at our annual signature event, Team's Big Event, which will be on Thursday, October 25th. Many of you have already received invites and emails about the event itself, but Misty will be making a special appearance at the big event as well. So here today you get kind of a sneak peek of who Misty Cortez is. Let me introduce her. Misty dates her entrepreneurial startup all the way back to first grade, literally, something she and I have in common. And she'll share some details about that a little bit later. Her formal education is in marketing with a minor in graphic communication, which is a fancy word for design. She's pursued multiple entrepreneurial ventures and built 5 successful businesses over the last 20 years. She's always used her marketing knowledge in building her own businesses, but in 2013, she decided that she wanted to focus on helping small businesses succeed in growing by helping them navigate the ever-changing world of marketing. Boy, is that a true statement. She intimately understands the challenges that entrepreneurs face with wearing all of the hats in their business. And she's also experienced the challenges of finding the right people to grow her company. So she's experienced the challenges of both positions in the path of small business growth. I've recently met Misty. We've been chatting together and getting together via Zoom and actually in person over the last few months. I met her through a mutual friend of many of ours, and that is Stacy O'Byrne, team franchise owner and sales and leadership with Pivot Point Advantage, her sales and leadership company. And so I've recently had the opportunity to get to know how Misty works, her philosophy, the things that she does in her marketing business, and more importantly, who Misty is as a person. You will discover very shortly as she comes on to the webinar here what a truly authentic and giving person she is. It has been a thrill for me to be able to get to know her and to be working with her. Misty started her business. Oh, sorry, I was just going to go. Yeah.
No,
can I bring you on?
I wanted to jump in. I'm like, oh, that's so nice.
So quickly, though, let me finish just introducing you, and then I'll bring you on. She started your marketing coach in 2013 to help entrepreneurs navigate the world of digital marketing. When she and I first met, we instantly hit it off. She's going to share her story about moving her family here from her hometown of Port Huron, Michigan to Phoenix, Arizona. Boy, that's just a little different in the weather alone, let alone everything else. And started over there. She has a great story to share about how she created over 600 connections in a very short period of time. I've asked her to join us on this webinar. I've asked her to be a big part of Team Referral Network's big event. And now you'll get a chance to hear who and what she is. Misty, take it away.
Awesome. Well, Kelly, thank you so much for having me. I am super excited to be here today. And thank you, everybody who's on the call. You know, I know what it's like Kelly said, to be the small business owner that wears all the hats in the business, and just how challenging it can be, you know, to carve space like this out of your schedule and be present and showing up. So I appreciate that, and I don't take that lightly. So I want to make sure that I deliver the best value I can in our time that we have together. So as Kelly mentioned, I have been an entrepreneur literally since the first grade. You know, the rest of the kids would leave to go out on the playground, and here what I would do is run out to the nearest tree where I could plop and draw as many pictures as I could. I'm not claiming to be an artist by no means, but I have a little bit of a talent there. And so I would draw those pictures, as many as I could, so that for the next recess, when I would go back out, I would actually sell them to the kids. I tease all the time. I've taken many children's lunch money over the years, you know, when I was younger. But I just love entrepreneurship. I love small business. I really truly have a passion for serving them, because I get emotional when I say this. They're, you know, small business owners are some of the most serving and passionate people in the world. They put everything on the line to serve others and to create opportunity. And, you know, not everybody's wired like that. And so for me, it's just an honor to be able to work with small business owners on a day-to-day basis and just be a part of that journey. So enough about me, because you're going to hear a lot about me today. I'm going to jump right into the presentation if you're okay with that. So recently, just about a little over a week ago, I was actually in Mexico, and I was thinking, I was walking on the beach with my husband, and I was thinking about this presentation, and this quote came to mind. You know, this quote, "A rising tide lifts all boats," is generally associated to the idea that, you know, about improvements in the general economy, and that how they benefit all participants in the economy. Well, I think this concept actually relates to what I'm going to share with you guys today, because the strategy I'm going to share really truly does lift all boats. For everyone involved in Team Referral Network, if we can enroll people, everybody in Team Referral Network into doing this. And so, you know, based on what Kelly shared with me in the past, she said that everybody in team is like a family, and she's expressed that on numerous occasions. So I believe that every one of you on the call today is going to absolutely love what I'm going to share with you, because this truly is an everybody wins situation. So I'm excited for that. Just to give you a quick warning, you might already notice this, I talk 100,000 miles an hour, and I apologize for that. I always say as fast as I talk, believe it or not, my mind actually works faster, which is quite scary. I do have a ton of content to share with you guys today, and I promise you, you're never going to be able to keep up with the notes, so you might as well not even try. Just go ahead and just be present. And here's the good news, because everything that I'm going to share with you today, I'm going to give you an opportunity to actually download and get the recording. So you're good, you're covered. So you can just be totally present in what I'm sharing, and hopefully I hope that you're able to take away some really valuable nuggets that you can apply. The only catch is that I ask that you stay to the end, because that's when we're going to share how you get it all. Okay, so I'm going to dive right into the information if you guys are okay with that. And Kelly, you know, if you have something to say or want to interject, stop me, because you know I'm going to just keep going.
Yep, I know. That's okay. I'll interject where I need to. I was thinking, as you were talking about us being a family, I did want to jump in and say, like, a good thing, a good way with family.
Very true. I guess that could go both ways. Awesome. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to come out the gate and dispel any conflict that might exist when you think about traditional marketing versus online marketing. Because I think, you know, if you talk to a digital marketer, and our agency is more focused on digital marketing than we are traditional marketing, but that doesn't mean that we don't find both valuable. I think that a lot of times many businesses make the mistake that they think that they need to choose one or the other. And what we believe as a company is that to be truly effective in your marketing, you need both to exist. So what I believe is that when you combine traditional networking approach with your online efforts, that's when you really get explosive growth. So that's what today's all about. So I know I'm going to be talking a lot about how to take those face-to-face connections that you're making online, but keep in mind that we need to make sure that we're doing both, because both are important to your long-term success. So the strategies I'm going to share with you aren't actually concepts. This is something that is actually proven. This strategy came out of a need that, like Kelly said, I had moved my family, a family of 6 and a dog, Jude, from Michigan to Arizona. And I actually moved. It was in a really, well, the worst economic time of my lifetime. And I moved because of the economy in Michigan. And so, and truthfully, I had kind of lost my passion for what I was doing at the time. I was working in finance. I had 2 offices that I owned and operated. And it was a really challenging time. So I had prayed and got an answer that we needed to move and to Arizona specifically. And so here we are, 2,200 miles away from everybody I know and like and trust, and, you know, and an established life that we had as a family. And I actually moving to Arizona, I knew one person. She was 70 years old, and she lived over 200 miles away from where we planted our flag. So during the course of that time, though, I was able to launch 4 successful businesses from startup because of the connections that I was able to create during that time, which is just mind-blowing to me. I said to Kelly yesterday, we were chatting about this, and I said, I didn't even realize like that I had started 4 businesses from these connections. So like I said, the concepts or the strategies I'm going to share with you today aren't concepts. They're actually proven, and I'm the proof of that. So I'm going to share my whole story along the way and exactly what I did. So one thing you should know about me, if you haven't figured that out, is that I'm an A-type personality. I take action, and then I turn around and say, oh shoot, you know, what did I just do? And then usually my husband comes in behind and cleans up that mess. But moving from Michigan, yeah,
that's great.
We'll have been married 25 years here soon, and he's been doing it a long time. So, you know, here's what happened. So when we moved from Michigan to Arizona, I was super pumped. It was exciting. It was an exciting time for us. And here I am. I get here and I realize, shoot, like I don't have any money. And I need to get results fast. We were already financially struggling because of the economy. And now here I am in a brand new state having to start from scratch. And unfortunately, I say this in quotes, the traditional face-to-face networking strategies that I would normally use to grow my business weren't going to work for me. And the reason why they weren't going to work is because I didn't have any referrals to give. So I didn't feel good about joining networking groups under the understanding that my job was to refer. And because I didn't know anybody who I could refer. So here's what I did. I devised a different approach to traditional networking. So I hope you guys get fired up about this because it's exciting. So here's what I did. I made a list of all the people that I needed to connect with to actually serve my family's needs. You know, I mean, we were new to the state, and so we needed a doctor, we needed a dentist, a chiropractor. So I made that list of all those individuals that I wanted to make sure that I connected with. And what I did is I researched all of the networking groups in our immediate area to find those types of people. And I looked. So what I did is once I created the list and I started digging into the networking groups, I actually looked for those that were most connected, right? Because I didn't want just an average family doctor or chiropractor. I wanted to find the one that was most connected in the community, you know, the one that had a lot of friends and a lot of followers. This is why it's really important that we put a little time and attention to that, because people are looking. Whether you realize it or not, people are looking you up, and your profile says a lot to them, right? So I looked for those folks who had connections in the community because I wanted someone who was not only great at what they did, but also could get me connected into the new state. So I created what I call the hit list. I say that in a good way, right? Of all the people that I absolutely had to meet. And my goal at the meeting was to actually find those people and introduce myself, right? I mean, and everyone on this call has probably done this before. But the key here is that I didn't do it like most people do. I was focused and intentional. And here's what I would say. I'm going to give you the exact script. I would find a doctor and I would walk up and I would say, hey, my name is Misty. I'm actually brand new to Arizona. I just moved my family here from Michigan to start a new business. I actually came to this meeting to meet you specifically. It's my understanding that you are the doctor to connect with here in Mesa, Arizona. My family needs a doctor, so I was hoping I could get a chance to meet with you and meet with you one-to-one and learn more about your business. And here's the thing, guys. You're probably listening to that and we've probably had those conversations before, but and it's not hard to get someone to meet with you one-to-one to tell them about, to give them an opportunity to tell you about their business, especially when you're buying their products or services, right? But the key here is that I established right out the gate, right from the beginning, that I was a mover and shaker, that I wanted to make things happen. I wanted to connect with the best. And because of the way that I positioned the way I wanted to connect with them, I instantly built rapport with them. So in other words, I made our first connection memorable, which is what's really important. I hear a lot of times, when I was networking, members would come up to me and they would introduce themselves and they would have a similar kind of script, but they weren't memorable. They just, hey, my name's John and I'd love to meet with you and learn more about your business. And I was like, okay, John, like there was no sense of urgency in that, introduction. So the first point I want to make out is that you want to make these introductions memorable. And then the next thing that I want to point out is that you can't just bank on one group to establish those connections. Kelly and I were actually chatting about this yesterday. Kelly, you said that you believe that the members of Team Referral Network shouldn't be the only networking group in their arsenal. Is that correct?
Correct, and it should definitely not be the only type of networking that they do. There's a way to spread out their networking activities, whether it be Chamber of Commerce or big, large-scale networking events put on by organizations, belonging to a professional association that's geared towards your industry or your business. And then, of course, the exclusive category networking that Team Referral Network provides. So really, it gives them a lot of opportunity to get out there and network in multiple areas. And they're not doing enough of it. I find people are not doing enough of it. Yep.
Absolutely. And I find the same thing. And I think the reason is because as a networker, entrepreneur, business owner, we want to commit to that group that we're with, and we want to commit to giving those referrals. While I respect and understand the loyalty, I think it can come back to burn you if you're not branching out and exploring other ways to connect with great people in your community. So I actually had a lady when I was doing this who said to me specifically, she said something along the lines that I was basically prostituting my business. And I was really offended at first. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, what do you mean?
Wow.
And she said, well, you're just, I know. I felt yeah, she was angry at me. And I kind of understood where she was coming from, because she was like, hey, we want members that are committed to the group and creating, long-term connections. And we want to make sure that we're supporting people within the group. And everything she said made total sense. And I totally agreed with her. But the problem is I couldn't make that kind of commitment to the group because I was new to the state. And I couldn't guarantee that I could give referrals because I didn't know anybody to refer yet. So instead of doing that, instead of lying and saying that I couldn't, that I could make those connections, I just was very forward about, hey, our family needs help. We need, to establish some connections in the area, and that over time I would eventually get there. But right then and there, I wasn't. So I had to branch out and look for all different opportunities on how I could connect with people in the community. And so that's what I did. And trust me, I love the loyalty of groups. I was back in Michigan. We were the family, man. We were totally connected and everybody knew who I was. I ran a local chapter, and I won't say the name of the group, because if I known about Team Referral Network, that would have been the chapter I would have been running, right? So,
yeah, thanks. We weren't in Michigan.
No, but had you been, I would have definitely been on board. So after I made my connections face-to-face at the meeting, my next step, of course, was to schedule the one-to-one connection, right? And typically, I tried to schedule right there on the spot. I didn't want to have to wait. Remember, you got to understand, I moved my family 2,200 miles away from everybody we know, like, and trust, with no money. And I had to make things happen quickly. So I couldn't afford to say, hey, I'll contact you in a couple days or something like that. I needed to make it happen right there. So as soon as they would say, yeah, I'd love to meet, I'd say, great. And I'd pull out my calendar and I'd say, let's get something on the schedule, right? The biggest mistake I see, or one of the biggest mistakes I see people make, is that they're kind of passive with meeting in the one-to-ones. It's like, oh, I'll contact you later. And, I think that's a huge mistake, because again, you want to give the perception that you're a mover and shaker, because that's who people want to be connected with, right? And then the other thing is that when they meet, they make the one-to-one all about them. Now, I know that the purpose of a one-to-one meeting is that both parties are able to learn about each other, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm totally on board with that. But because I wanted to create really solid connections with people, I didn't want to make it about me. So I was very intentional about giving them 95% of the time so that they could share with me about their business. And I spent less than 5 minutes actually talking about my business, because that's not why we were meeting. I was meeting to create that really solid connection. And I, like I said, I shared transparently that I wasn't going to be a great referral source for them right away, and that I was simply looking to fill some needs for my family. But as my network grew, I would have no problems referring them if we had a great relationship, right? And then here's another key thing. Before I would leave that one-to-one meeting, I would say to them, hey, I would love to stay connected. And instantly, as soon as you say that to someone, they're like, yeah, I'd love to stay connected too. And I said, well, when I get back to the office, I'm actually going to shoot you a friend request on Facebook. And they would say, great. And then I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that so that they would be looking for it, you know, later in the day when I got back to the office. It's really important that you do that, because I think, you know, a lot of times, you know, we get friend requests on Facebook, and you end up getting so many notifications on Facebook, especially today, that it can get kind of lost in the shuffle of those notifications. So you want to make sure that you're intentional about saying, hey, I'd love to stay connected with you. Be on the lookout, because I'm going to shoot you a friend request. All right. Then
I love that, by the way, Misty. I'm just going to jump in here and say,
yeah,
you know, it's really important. I hope all our members, I know you're not taking notes, but I'm hoping that this impresses upon you the fact that you said you're going to do something, you're going to go back and do it immediately, and it's going to continue them thinking about you. It's brilliant.
Absolutely. And remember, it's all about the speed of creating those really solid connections. So when I would leave the meeting, I would go back to my office, and the first thing I would do is I would pull out a thank you card, and I would write them a handwritten note. And it was something super short and sweet. Hey, Kelly, it was great meeting with you today. Thank you so much for spending some time with me so that I could get to know you a little bit more. And 9 times out of 10, because I was new to the state, they would usually say, oh, you got to have dinner here, and this is great, and check out this park. And I would just kind of thank them for that personal advice and guidance that they gave me while I was together. And, you know, and then I would put that immediately in the mail. Now, we all know that, you know, my husband used to work for the snail mail office, by the way, so I can say this. It takes a couple of days for that to get to them. So in the meantime, while that's on its way, I would hop on Facebook, and I would look them up on not only their business page, but also their personal page. So I would find their personal page, and I would friend request them. That was the first thing I did. And then I would find their business page, and I would like their page. Guys, think about this. Kelly, I don't know how many members you guys have, hundreds, if not maybe thousands of Team Referral members.
More. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. Imagine if everybody in Team Referral Network went out and liked each other and followed each other.
Wow.
That social influence and impact that would make is unbelievable.
Definitely.
I just want to give you a minute to let that soak in. Imagine 3,000 people in Team Referral Network following your business. Huge, right?
Yep.
So here's the thing. Once they accepted my friend request, I would actually jump on their personal page, and I would give them what I call a shout out. Okay. So here's what a shout out would look like. So I say, Kelly, thank you so much for meeting with me today. After getting the opportunity to learn more about Team Referral Network, I can totally see why you have so many members succeeding at growing their business through referrals. You're a rock star leader. I look forward to joining the chapter in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. So here's what I want to do. I want to break down this message for you, because think about that. Think about if 3,000, I'm just throwing an arbitrary number out there. I have no idea how many members you guys have, but imagine 3,000 Team Referral Network members jumping on your page, putting a message like that. I mean, how many think about the perception of what people would think about you, right? So here's what happens in this little post. First of all, I gave them a shout out, and I'm giving Kelly that public recognition for being amazing. First of all, she deserves it, right? Because she is a rock star leader. And so few people, we spend so little time actually lifting other people up. It's shocking, right? So instantly, because of that public recognition, our relationship just elevated to a whole new level. The second thing that happens is that they get exposure, they get more exposure to their own personal connection. So let's say Kelly has 300 friends that she's connected with on social media or on Facebook. When I post this, those 300 friends have an opportunity now to be reminded, oh yeah, that's right, Kelly has that networking thing, doesn't she? You know how people are about businesses. She has that networking business, right? So those 300 friends and connections now have an opportunity to be reminded about Kelly's business again, which gives her exposure to her business. And then the other thing that would happen is that my business would get exposure, or me personally, I would get exposure, because like I said, so few people are giving these kinds of shout outs and actually standing out from a crowd and lifting others up. People are naturally going to gravitate to those that are positive and lifting others up. So what will happen is they're like, who the heck is this Misty girl? And they're going to click on my name, and they're going to head over to my personal profile. And when they do that, they're going to be able to see, of course, they're going to look at my page and learn a little bit more about me. So what happens is I lifted Kelly's business up. I gave her exposure. I got exposure. And I was able to transfer the trust that Kelly had with her connections instantly to me, because they're going to think something like this: man, Kelly really connects with some really top-notch people, just because of this simple little post here.
Love it.
Now, here's the key, guys. You've got to wait for the friend request, obviously, to do this. So you got to wait for Kelly to accept it. The other thing that you have to do is you have to like the Team Referral Network page in order to be able to link to it. So all the things that you're seeing on my screen right here that's blue and underlined, that's referencing that it's a link to that profile. So I'm linking, well, technically it's already linked to Kelly's personal page because I'm on her personal page posting it. But then when I make a reference about Team Referral Network, because I've liked that page, Facebook's automatically going to do that little pop-up window that says, hey, do you want to link this? And then you select yes. And then when I say I'm going to join the chapter in Phoenix, I actually, if I'm connected with the chapter in Phoenix, it'll link to that page as well. So anybody reading this post is going to be able to click to go automatically over to those pages. I'm telling you guys, this is like gold here. One simple little post about lifting someone else up, okay? So if you're gonna get more exposure, right? If you're gonna do posts like that, you're gonna give these shout outs. What you wanna do is you wanna make sure that your Facebook pages are set up for conversion, that they're optimized is what I would call it. So here's a quick checklist on how you would actually optimize your personal page, or personal profile rather, and then I'm going to show you how to optimize your business page. And guys, again, I know I'm going really quick on this, and you're probably going to want to get these things down. You're going to get this recording. Stick with us till the end. You're going to get this, and I also have a workbook on this, so you'll get both. So here's just a quick checklist on how you optimize your personal page. Okay, and I'm not going through all the things that you could do. I'm just going to highlight the things you must do. All right, if you have limited time to set up your page, these are the things that you have to make sure are set up. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to update the intro section. So I'm going to kind of point to that because I got a lot of arrows going on over here. So you see right here under my Facebook picture or profile picture, it says intro. In here, you have an opportunity that you can put, I think it's like 140 characters, but basically do an introduction to yourself. Now, in the introduction, you can have it be something funny, witty. You could say something about your business. You could say something personal, a quote that inspires you. Personally, for me, what I love, the way that I've used my intro is to kind of give people a sneak peek into my personality. And so if you read my intro, it says, if you don't want my opinion, don't ask. actually, it's probably best that we don't even make eye contact. Because Kelly could say that Kelly knows in the short time that we've known each other, just in the last few months, I have an opinion about a lot of things. And my daughter.
True statement.
And so anybody who's ever met me for any length of time knows that about me, right? So they're like, oh yeah, that's definitely Misty. So it's a little fun. And then the next thing that you want to do is you want to update your work to include your business. It's surprising to me at how many business owners, I go to their profile page and they don't even link to their own business pages. They've got an old, link to a job they had years ago, maybe even back when they were in high school. It's like crazy. So you want to make sure that you're linking to your own business page. So in my case, it's you're the owner at Your Marketing Coach. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to choose your business page to be featured. So if you look right here, see this what is it? A rocket ship. It's our logo. Here's a rocket ship. So in here, it doesn't show you, but there's actually a link that says, link to pages. And when you click on that, it gives you an option. You could actually feature, if you wanted to, I could feature Team Referral Network in here. I could link to their page right there off my personal page. If you have a favorite book or an author, you could link to them. I'm not recommending that you guys do that. I mean, let's utilize this free resource we have to publicize our own businesses, right? So you link to your business page. Beneath that, you'll notice that there's a couple more links down here. You can actually link to your website or social media profile. So if you have a website, put your link in there. If you don't have a website, but you're very active on Twitter or LinkedIn, link there to those profiles so people can go and learn more about you. All right. Guys, at the end of this, we're going to give you guys an opportunity to ask any questions that you might have. So just give you a heads up on that. So again, these are the top 5 things that you need to make sure that you're optimizing, because if you're going to give those shout outs and you're going to drive traffic, you got to give people an opportunity to learn more about you and your business. All right. Next, let's talk about the business page and what you need to do to optimize that. So of course, well, let me go back for a second. Shoot. I'm just jumping all around. Let's do this. All right. So right here where it says owner at Your Marketing Coach and the featured page that I have here, if they click Your Marketing Coach, they're going to head over to my business page. If they click this image, they're going to head over to my business page. All right. So you want to make sure, that's why you want to make sure that you have your business page optimized too, because that's how they're going to get there. So here's just a few key checkpoints that you want to make sure that you optimize on your business page too. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you upload an image or a video in the banner section. The banner section is right here on ours where it says we believe in small business. This is actually a video. Now, before I did a video, we actually had just like a static, just an image that you could put that I had in there. And I was giving away something for free. I think it was either a training or something like that. I've changed it over the years. But you want to optimize this section because this gives you basically an opportunity to create a commercial for your business. I mean, I use a program, it's called Animoto, A-N-I-M-O-T-O. And it's super inexpensive. I think it's less than $300 for the entire year to use this tool. And you literally just drag pictures in and can place your own text in there. It has music in there. You select the music and it creates the video. This video, someone on our team had made it. It took them less than 15 minutes to do it. It's super, super simple. So that video, though, gives you an opportunity to, like I said, run that little mini commercial. And the next thing that you want to do is you want to set up your call to action button right below the banner. So here it says learn more. So when you click that, it actually sends them over to our website. You could have it go to another social profile. You could have it go to a landing page, really however you want to utilize it. All right. And then a lot of people don't realize this. You can actually organize your templates and tabs to list out the most important information that you want your visitors to see about your company. So on the left-hand side, see see that menu right underneath our logo? It says home, reviews, services, shop. It has all those tabs. You actually can organize these tabs in the order that you want them to show up. So I would get in there and organize them so that they make sense. And of course, when you're setting up your business page, here's a general rule of thumb. Fill out every section of that you have an opportunity to fill out. Facebook is giving you an opportunity to create a complete profile. You should take advantage of that. I know I'm highlighting some key areas here, but you definitely want to make sure that if people want to learn more about you, even your hours of operation, make sure that all of that's filled out. And then the last point, which is really, really important, you want to make sure that you pin a post to the top of your page. So when you pin a post, you'll see here, this is the pinned post. You know it's a pinned post because it has that blue little pin in it. And what that is it's a post that shows up 100% of the time at the top of your page. So the idea here is that they're not seeing, you know, if you're posting on social media on a regular basis, they're not seeing the most recent post that you put out there, but they're seeing this one first. And then just below that would be your most recent post. The reason why you want to pin a post to the top of your page is because this is a perfect opportunity for you to be able to tell people more about your business. You can see here, you've got more space to create, to write more copy. And then in our situation, we actually have a link where they can actually learn more about our business. So if they click the link, of course, it takes them over to our website to learn even more. All right. So pinning a post, and you could also pin a video. You could pin an image, whatever you want. So you got to ask yourself, if someone shows up on my page, on my Facebook page, and I want them to learn more about me, where do I want them to go to do that? And that's what you should be pinning there. All right. So here's the deal about creating true connections online. You have to be intentional about staying connected and keeping that relationship alive. You don't just get to go to the meeting, meet someone, do a one-to-one, connect with them on Facebook, and then move on. You've got to keep connecting with them, right? So the way to make this easier to do, because you might be thinking, if you're like me, like I spend so little time on social profiles nowadays. You know, we're actively running. I'm actively running 2 businesses right now. I don't have time to get and go through all the feed of all my friends and all my family and then all my connections. So in order to make it easier for you to stay connected with those people that you've created connections with online, from a business standpoint, what you want to do is you want to create a list that you can actually watch and filter out all the friends and family stuff. So on the left-hand side, when you're on your personal profile, see my personal profile here? On the left-hand side, there's a menu of shortcuts and apps and things like that. Well, if you go below the one that says Explore, there's a tab that's called Friends List. So when you click on that tab, it'll take you to a page that looks like this. And in there, you might have some lists already set up. I think Facebook by default sets up a couple of lists for you. But what you can do is you can actually create a new list. And when you create that list, so for me, I had my Michigan connections, my Mesa, Arizona connections. You know, I've had different connections throughout the years. But basically, you're going to create your maybe team referral network connections. And when you add people to that list, it allows you to actually be able to filter and only see their posts. How cool is that? You might want to get in, now that I'm thinking about it, we might want to just put a like negative Nancy list and put all those negative Nancys in there so we don't see their crap too. So
I like it.
Just a thought. Mm-hmm. Right? Yep. So hold on one second. I got to clear my throat.
Well, Misty's clearing her throat. I'm just sitting here just thinking how phenomenal this information is, and thank God it's being recorded, because you are right. I cannot keep up with you. So everybody just chill. Everything's good. Just stay till the end and you'll know what to do. All right.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for filling that gap. That's what I get for drinking a coffee before I get on here. All right. So now you know how to make the connection online, the importance of how to make the connection, how to create the list so that you can continue to stay connected, right? So now you've got that list. So what I want to do is I just want to take a quick second to point out that because when I used to do this training, I would go around to the local chambers and I would actually train other people how to do this. It's been a few years since I've done this training. Kelly actually inspired me to pull it out of the archives to share it with you guys today. But I had a lady once who said to me, well, you know, it just doesn't feel very authentic. And at first, you know, it kind of shot me in the heart and in the gut. I was like, wow, am I coming across not authentic? Because for me, that's one of the core values that we have in our business and I just have in life. And I kind of flipped the switch really quickly and I said, you know, that's not true. This is actually 100% authentic. Everything I did was authentic. I would never say anything that wasn't true. I would never connect with someone I did not like or didn't want to stay connected with. I was not trying to manipulate people. I was actually being intentional about strengthening relationships quickly. That's what I was doing. And if I'm guessing right, there's a lot of people on this call here today or that might be thinking, you know, I need to get results right away. I want to like get moving and shaking, right? And
well, yeah,
this is
especially now as we're going into the last quarter of the year. If you all heard me talking at the beginning of the year about a book called The 12-Week Year, it shares the fact that we always wait until or many of us have a tendency to wait until the last quarter of the year and put ourselves into that self-induced state of panic of, oh crap, I got to make all my sales goals in the last quarter here. So this is perfect timing, Misty.
Awesome. Well, and truthfully, I'll be honest, like most business owners that I meet, it's almost like they nap the fourth quarter. And I'm like, dude, you're setting up your next year. We got to go like overtime right now. We can't be taking off. Don't get me wrong. You got to have time with family during the holidays, but you don't need to be taking off 3 months for the holidays, right?
Definitely. Right.
Like, yeah, like let's get a grip, people. We're setting up our 2019. We gotta go into overtime right now. So I just wanted to point this out because if you're thinking, man, this doesn't feel authentic, it doesn't feel real. It's not. The only way that it's not authentic is if you're not being authentic. The only way that it's not real is if you're not being real. And I don't suspect anybody on this call here today is like that, right? Most business owners aren't. So I wanted to point this out because I know this could be a mental roadblock. If you feel like, man, because the system can sometimes feel like it might not feel authentic, but it is authentic if you believe it, right? All right. So here's the results. This is where I pat myself on the back. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but basically here's what happened, guys. And I didn't even realize it was happening. I knew I needed to make connections. I knew I needed to create these solid relationships. I knew I needed to do it quickly, but I had no idea if it was going to work. I had no idea what it would result in. Looking back now, I even said to Kelly the other day, I built 4 freaking businesses from this. At the time, I had only built 1. I was only focused on building 1, but since then, it's now been 5 years. I've actually built 4 businesses in 5 years.
That's amazing.
And what I did is, right? I know.
Mm-hmm.
And I created, I say only 600, because in the scheme of where I live, I mean, shoot, Phoenix, Arizona, there's like 10 million people within a stone throw of my house, right? So I only created 600 connections. It took me about 6 months to do it. And those connections led to me allowing me the opportunity to start 6 successful businesses in 5 years. When I launched Your Marketing Coach, I did it with that list. And I was able to make $250,000 a year right out the gate because of those connections and their willingness to refer me. So when I say this stuff works, guys, I'm telling you it works. And what was amazing is I'll be honest, like you hear me now, you probably don't think this is true, but I am actually an introvert. I really am. Unless you talk marketing, then I'm an extrovert and I can go for days. But someone said, you must be 4 businesses in 5 years, you must be single with no family. Actually, I have 4 kids and 2 dogs now and a husband of 25 years. So Trust me. It was super busy, but when I would go to meetings and I would go to events, it was like I was a rock star in some capacity. It was weird. And it's not normal for me because, like I said, I'm normally an introvert unless we're talking marketing, then I'm an extrovert. But the reason why it felt like that is because when I would walk in, everyone that I had connected with treated me as if I was a friend for like over 10 years. We had such an amazing relationship that we had built online that they felt like they really knew me. And they did, because truthfully, that's where I share the pictures of my family and my dogs and the trips we take and all the things that we do. That's really where you get to see an opportunity to get a peek into my life and that. And so those connections, just being able to connect online allowed me to be able to socially really truly connect with people. I say that because, you know, we're all creating connections as we network face to face, and those relationships do take off and have great positive results in our business and in our personal lives. But taking that relationship online and being intentional about staying engaged with people, it just explodes. It explodes. Okay. All right. And if that's not amazing enough, at the time, I didn't have my marketing business yet. I was doing it to build my previous business, the one that I had moved to Arizona to build. And I didn't leverage the power of email marketing. But today we do, right? So that allows us to even take it up one more notch. And so today, when we're out there networking and we're going to events, I take those contacts that I meet and I add them to my CRM. And what happens is that when I fill out the form for my CRM, my contact relationship management system, what happens is it sends an email automatically, an immediate email that thanks them for meeting with me and how excited I am about staying connected with them, right? And then a couple days later, I have it set up that another email goes out just saying, hey, you know, I was thinking of you, and I'm just really appreciative of the connection that we've made together. And it's just another way to stay in touch with them and stay connected with them. And it's another way to do it. Like, we've got the social, we've got the face-to-face. Now I'm showing up in their inbox. And don't forget, I sent that handwritten card too. So talk about staying top of mind with folks. And then a week later, I have another email going out. And guys, the great thing about this system is that you can have as many touches as you want built into that. All right. So a lot of people have heard the term, you know, top of mind awareness. Big businesses use commercials and radios to do that. Well, as a small business or an entrepreneur on a limited budget with limited time, one of the best ways that you have to stay top of mind, aside from social media, is through your email marketing. And the only way to be consistent with your email marketing is to automate it. I actually used to use MailChimp. I'm half watching these chats. Look at me. I'm sorry if I'm missing some of them, but every once in a while, one of them catches my eye. I used to use MailChimp. Now I use a different system. In a minute here, I'm going to be sharing you with what system I use. So let me ask you this. Does this look familiar? Whoops. I skipped a slide. Does this look familiar? Look around your desk right now. If you're like most networkers, looks familiar. Someone's probably going, hey, that's my card.
You know, my office staff won't let my stack of cards look that way, but if I didn't have them, that's exactly what it would look like.
Exactly. I've done it for years. I had a pile on my desk, like for years and years and years, until I started getting organized and I started automating my follow-up. So this is the pile of business cards that just keeps growing and growing and growing that you never really actually do anything with, right? I mean, let's be real, guys. I'm calling us out right now. But here's the deal. The challenge is that so many people get caught up in the networking and gathering of cards that they actually don't have time to do the follow-up. So here they are working their tail off, producing, they're working their tail off, they're collecting all these cards, but the problem is they're not getting results from all that networking. Now, maybe you are. Maybe you're getting a little bit of results. Maybe you have a system that you've figured out how to organize it and organize your time. But the reality is that most of us, we collect more business cards than we have time to follow up with. if we're really truly honest with ourselves. And it's not that we don't want to follow up. It's not that at all. It's that we're more concerned with capturing more leads or more connections, and we're not really focused on the follow-up, but the follow-up is where the money is, right? See, a lot of people have this misconception that more leads equals more sales, more connections equals more sales, but it actually doesn't. Because see, if you don't have the follow-up, you won't get the sales. And all of us are networking so that we can ultimately grow our business. And growth in our business is making more sales, making more money, right? Now, there's other aspects of growth. We all know that. But the reality is more leads doesn't equal more sales. More follow-up equals more sales. So that's what I'm going to challenge you guys to do, is think beyond just networking, creating connections, because everything we've talked about today is it will work. It will explode. You will get a ton of connections. But if you don't have a system for the follow-up, you're not going to grow. All you're going to do is get more and more overwhelmed, and your pile is just going to get bigger and bigger. Because here's the harsh reality of what it actually takes to convert prospects into buyers. First of all, you guys probably heard this before. I'm not the first to tell you this. It takes 7 to 9 touches to actually reach a prospect. 7 to 9. So you might be asking, well, what is a touch? A touch is, some of you are kind of going there mentally. I'm not going to even do that. Now I realize that as I say it. A touch is not a physical touch. I just want to point that out.
Pretty funny, Misty. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. A touch is where you're sending information and staying in touch with that individual, right? So here's what I shared with you today. How to send a handwritten note. That's a touch. How to do a shout out on Facebook. That's a touch. How to stay connected with them on Facebook. Like, comment, and share on their social posts, right? That's a touch. You can also do email marketing. That's another way that you can stay in touch with them. And then we didn't even talk about text messaging, but that's also a huge opportunity for us that a lot of businesses are missing out on. So if it takes 7 to 9 touches to reach a prospect, how quickly can you make those touches happen? That's the question, because that's really what's going to get you the results we're all looking for. And here's what's interesting. 44% of sales reps give up after only 1 follow-up. So typically that pile of business cards, we'll send off 1 email, and then that's it, because that's really all we have time for.
I find that statistic just amazing, Misty. I mean, just amazing. 44% of sales reps. And we know in our case, many of our Team Referral Network friends and members, they are their sales rep in their company. So I'm assuming that percentage applies to them as well, right?
It absolutely does. Here's the scary part, guys. As an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, I was a sales rep for my business, right? That was one of the hats I wore, like many of you probably on the call here today. And it's easy for us to rationalize. I'll throw myself into this mix. It's easy to rationalize. Well, you don't understand, Misty. I'm so busy. I'm out there networking. I'm working with clients. I'm delivering the service. I do the bookkeeping. I do all these different things. So it's easy for us to rationalize, well, yeah, I only have time for 1 follow-up, right? But here's the deal, guys. That mentality doesn't serve us, because if we know it takes 7 to 9 touches to actually get the result we're looking for, then if we want the results, we got to have a system to doing the follow-up. But here's what's even scarier, because now as a business owner, I actually just hired another growth coach for our business, literally just last week. And I'm super excited about her getting started. And as I was writing out this statistic, because I've heard this and I've used this many times before, I'm like, the real crappy part is when you hire someone in your business that you're paying not to follow up because you don't have a system.
Yeah.
Now you're spending money not to get money back, right? That's what's really scary. So I was going through this and putting this presentation together, and I said to her, I was chatting with her, and I said, you got to watch this. She's actually going to be watching this. She might even be on the call with us here today. But I said, you got to watch this, because you need to be doing all these things. So it's funny how it kind of comes back around. But here's 30 to 50% of sales go to businesses that respond first. So if you were to guess, right, like, how long if you were to guess, like looking at your own business, how long is it taking you to follow up on average? Do you have a system to connecting with people quickly and effectively and efficiently? Or is it taking you a day or two to do that, right? So guys, I can't stress enough the importance of that system. And here's the last statistic, 78% of people that are using social media outsell their peers. That's mind-blowing. And the simplicity of the reason why this is the case, I mean, we don't need to read into this stat any more than we need to. It's just one more way to stay in front of people. It's just one more way to connect.
Misty, to tie this really back to this whole concept of taking your offline relationships online and having that be able to support this. This is really where the use of social media, when you are in an engaged relationship with somebody from your face-to-face networking, and you engage them then on a social platform or multiple social platforms, and you further that relationship, this is where that statistic, 78% of people that use social media outsell their peers, I think is the perfect culmination of the topic of this webinar today. It's huge.
Absolutely. It proves the point. It proves the point that we can't just go traditional. We have to introduce that digital side of it, but in a way that's very social. And that's why the results are what they are.
And I think it's important to note that you really don't get social on social media and build relationships, at least really meaningful relationships that are going to yield you growth in your company, if you don't have the personal side, the face-to-face side as well. You know, I have almost 5,000 friends on Facebook, and they are, you know, engaged at a certain level in my life and mine and theirs. But if they're people that I actually never run into face to face, we never take that next leap from just the minor, you know, very low interaction. And it's true that this is the perfect combination of face to face and online networking, which, by the way, happens to be one of Team Referral Network's taglines.
Absolutely. Well, and you guys have your event coming up in October that, you know, I'll be at. And, you know, that happens once a year. A lot of really great relationships happen at that event, I'm sure. And then those folks don't see each other again for an entire year. Social media is the great way to stay connected all year long and then get face to face once a year.
Yep, exactly.
Yep, it's amazing. So here, I'm gonna kind of wrap this up now, guys, and then give you guys a little bit of space to ask any questions that you might have. So get ready for that. So the keys to success can be really narrowed down and bullet pointed to this. The importance of connecting on social media. Obviously, we just spent some time proving that point. Number two is you want to make sure that you're quick in your follow-up, because the early bird gets the worm. It's been proven again here. And then number three, you got to automate your follow-up, because if you don't, opportunity is going to fall through the cracks because you just don't simply have the time to do it. So you might be asking yourself, well, Misty, how do I follow through and implement all of this, right? So here's what I want to share with you guys today. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time pitching this or anything like that. I just want you to know your options. So there's two ways that I can actually support you going forward. The first one is, in a moment, I'm actually going to give you a link where I'm going to share with you how you can get a copy of my Network Like a Pro workbook, which contains everything that we talked about here today, including all the scripts. So you guys can get a copy of that and use that to help guide you and remind you of all the things that you need to do. Number two, Kelly, you're going to be sending out the recording to everybody, so everybody's going to get that as well. So it'll go hand in hand with the workbook.
Yep. If you've registered, you get a copy of it, definitely.
Perfect. And then the second option that I'd like to invite you to do is to work with our team. Now, I'm not going to go into a long pitch on this, guys, but I do want to give you kind of an overview. I actually created a special program for Team Referral Network members only, exclusively. I've never offered this before. I've done this training before, but I never offered the workbook. I never put together this full support package. And so we want to invite you to work with our team and explore that option if you're looking for a way to get connected with a business like ours who can offer you coaching to help you reach your goals. So in the first 4 weeks of working together, the first 30 days, we would meet once a week. And we would do a group coaching where week one, we're going to teach you how to optimize your personal Facebook page. We're actually going to walk you through step by step how to do it. It's like a workshop, only online, because of course we're not all local. The next week, we're going to help you optimize your business page. We're going to walk you through step by step exactly what to do and give you all of the instructions you need so you're not having to try to figure this out on your own. Then week 3, we actually give you a campaign. I'm not going to go into what a campaign means. We'll talk about that later if you guys have interest. But we're going to give you a lead generation campaign that allows you to be able to capture leads 24 hours a day, 7 days a week online. So if someone shows up on your Facebook page and wants to engage with you and learn more, it'll give you an opportunity to give something away in exchange for their name and email so you can capture the lead and connect with them. So we'll help you set that up. And then third, we're going to actually give you our we call it Networking with Fortune follow-up campaign, where you actually automate your follow-up so that none of the hard work that you're doing out there collecting all those business cards is going to fall through the cracks, because all you have to do is fill out the form, put them into the campaign, and it's going to send the follow-ups for you automatically. So you don't have to remember to do it. So for those of you who've ever heard of Infusionsoft, Infusionsoft is the software program that actually allows you to automate your sales and marketing efforts. Our company, Your Marketing Coach, is a preferred servicing partner of Infusionsoft. So what that basically means is that we can actually sell the service to customers. And also, when Infusionsoft sells their customers their software, they actually send their customers over to our team so that we can teach them how to use the software. That's actually how I got connected with Kelly.
Yep.
Because she was inquiring about that. So like I said, I don't want to spend a bunch of time going through all the details of this program. I just wanted to give you some space and some understanding of what we've put together. But I can tell you this, this is the first time we've ever done this, and we're gonna just start out small. So we're only accepting 25 people into this coaching program. We want to keep it small and intimate so that we can answer everybody's questions and really, truly handhold you through the process of implementing this. And like I said, it's a special package for team members or Team Referral Network members only.
Actually,
and
let
I
me
can
just
tell you,
jump in there, Miss, and say, because we do have some non-Team Referral Network members on here, but the fact that you were invited to be a part of this webinar makes you a friend of Team Referral Network. So we're going to expand that universe to be a member of Team Referral Network or a friend of Team Referral Network. So everybody on the webinar today would qualify for being one of the 25, okay?
Awesome. Yep. And I'm perfectly okay with that. The point is, you know, you all understand the system because you've been here today. I walked you through everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to coach you into fully implementing this into your business. And there's more opportunities there. But like I said, we'll share with you that when we get an opportunity to connect. So I know this sounds like a pitch and everybody always says this, but honest to goodness, if you went around surveying our customers, we normally charge $1,500 to set something like this up in a business when we do it for businesses. But we're actually offering team members and friends the opportunity to do it for just under $300 a month. And that includes the cost of Infusionsoft. Kelly wanted me to make sure I pointed that out because for those of you who've ever explored Infusionsoft in the past, you know the software itself can cost that much. And you're going to get all these other benefits, and you're going to get monthly coaching from our team.
Yep. We pay quite a bit more. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So
how do they do this?
Here's the deal. Yeah. So I'm not asking for a decision that you guys are made today, although I see a couple people already saying I'm in, which I love, and I'm excited about being able to meet with you guys. All I'm asking that you do is do this. If in a second, I'm going to give you the link on how you can get that Network Like a Pro workbook. So when you go to that page, what you're going to do is you're going to put your name and email in there so I can connect with you, right? And it's going to send you the workbook. On the second page, that's this page here, it's just a really quick video. It's pretty rough, you'll see, but it works. And basically in that video, I'm inviting you to schedule a discovery call with us, with our team. So it's free. It doesn't cost you anything to explore this. So that's what I encourage you to do is just click that little orange button on this page. And when you do that, it's going to take you over to our calendar page. That's where you can actually schedule your free discovery call and then and book it and schedule it with us. And then once we get on the call, we're going to learn more about you, your business, your goals, share with you the details of the program. And if it's a good fit and it's going to help align with what you guys want to accomplish, then we'll ask you to move forward. If it's not, we'll tell you that. If we say, hey, you're not ready for that yet, that's okay. You still have this training program that you can use and go apply to your business today. So how exciting is that? All right. So here is the actual link. It's a super long URL, and I apologize. It's yourmarketingcoachonline.com/pro. So if you go there, that's going to give you that workbook. And then from the workbook, you're going to go to that page where you can actually schedule the free discovery call.
Great. So just want to make sure. Yeah, we got that. yourmarketingcoachonline.com/pro.
Yes. And I'm going to go ahead and type it into the chat. So all you guys have to do is just click on that and you can go directly to that page right from here. And in the meantime, I know we've got a few minutes where we can give everybody space to ask a few questions.
Great. I know we're running a little over and we've had some people drop off, but we will make sure we get the recording, and maybe we'll even include the link in a blurb that you can provide for them as well, Misty.
For sure. Absolutely. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just publicly send that link out to everybody in the chat. So you guys can click on that if you need to.
Great. And if anybody would want to unmute and ask a quick question before we end the webinar, Misty's happy to do so. I don't know, maybe Misty, you can even stay on the chat for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. I think that would work out well. And for those that can just want to click on the link and go immediately to get their copy of the workbook, be sure to click on that link, Your Marketing Coach. Okay, marketing, we don't have the right URL in there. Let's make sure we
I see that.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. I can't type and talk. That's the problem.
That's the problem for all of us. We're always doing too many things at once. Mm-hmm.
/pro. I think I got it. All right. That second link, it'll work. Perfect.
There it is.
This is common. I blow everybody's hair back on my 100 miles an hour talk, and then they're like stunned, so they don't. The questions come in later.
Right. I always say I've either wowed you or I've bored you, and I'm going with wow. Okay.
There you go. I love that. All right. Last call on questions.
All righty. Well, what a great, truly, the content was just amazing, Misty.